Hey, good morning or afternoon or wherever it is, time that you are now watching this. Wanted to ask a question. Have you ever had an opinion or had a thought that goes contrary to pretty much every other philosophy that's out there? And you sit back and you just wonder, am I crazy? Am I the one that's all messed up? Am I the one that's actually thinking all goofy and apart from the cultural norm or the shift that you see with a lot of things that have been happening? And I know this is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but I really think that this is probably one of the most misunderstood ideas within our the culture. And what I mean define, just let me kind of define the framework through which we're working, is the fact that we are entering into this new entrepreneurial type phase, and with the advent of the internet and online stores and all these different things that are now available, basically anybody who thinks that they have any just a little bit of understanding with online sales are now suddenly an entrepreneur and they're a business owner, and they're just going to do it and they're going to make it. And I don't want to discourage people. That's not the intent of this. But what I really wanted to do is kind of get a little bit of a dose of reality. Because what I'm hearing a lot now is the fact that everybody's talking about this word hustle. In fact, I think I've seen this a couple of different times in 2017. One of the most overused phrases is hustle. I'm hustling for this. I'm hustling for that. I'm hustling for to be able to get more work done. I'm just going to just hustle, 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 hustle. It used to be grind. I mean, grind was another one, or killing it, or crushing it. Those are all kinds of phrases. But we're just focused on the hustle. And I do believe it's because of Gary Vaynerchuk. And I don't. I want to make sure I'm very clear on this, because I think what Gary is doing is very, very good. And I think there's a lot of great things that come out of what Gary's talking about. But I also believe that, as typical as human beings, we hear only certain parts of things, and we don't actually listen to the entirety of what the messages that's coming across. And so what I'm finding and what I'm hearing right now is that everybody's going to hustle. And I see this on posts on Facebook. I see it on videos. I see it, man, when I go to a conference or an event. People are talking about, man, I've been hustling. I'm going to stay up for 48 hours, and I'm going to just knock this thing out. And I'm like, dude, oh my goodness gracious. So here's the thing, and this is what I really want to try to get a point. Right now, from what I'm seeing online and from what I'm seeing on Facebook, is that the word hustle is being defined as an individual who, for all practical purposes, they're basically burning the candles at both ends. And what they're doing is they're literally killing themselves. Let me say that again. You're literally killing yourself by working 24 hours a day or working 20 hours a day. Now, will there be a benefit from them doing that? Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're going to work 20 hours. You're going to get a lot of stuff done. You're going to be able to accomplish a lot of things in a very, very short amount of time. But this idea that's floating around in the online circles and in all of the different the groups that I'm in, this idea of hustling 100% of the time, all the time, is for the birds. Because what I'm going to tell you right now is that you're walking a path that's going to get you into a nervous breakdown. I'm going to tell you from experience. I'm now over 40, and I've been doing a lot of work, and I've worked in the online space for a long time. I've also started several businesses. I've done a lot of different things. And here's the key element in this is, if you're not actually paying attention to the other things in your life besides your business, you're going to have a nervous breakdown. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're not watching your health, if you're not watching what you're eating, if you're not watching your sleep, if you're not watching your family or your friends, if you're not watching all of these other relationships, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to end up with a nervous breakdown. And that line that divides between success and a nervous breakdown, it is so razor thin. And I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is, as we look at life and as we look at these words that are being out there, to define hustle as something that you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're just pushing way beyond everybody else, it's not going to pan out the way you think it's going to pan out. You might have a little bit of short-term success, but it's not going to help you in the long run. And so what I really wanted to try to stress is to show and understand Man, because when I was in high school, and I think this is truly what Gary Vaynerchuk is saying when he talks about hustle, is to make sure that you have a foundation and make sure that you've got basically your moral code set up and in place. So it's not 100% about business. It's not 100% about making sure that you're working all the time, because you've got to have this foundation in place. So when I was in high school, I mean, hustle was what you did on the court when it was game time and what you put out on the court. It wasn't the fact that you were hustling every day, 24 hours a day. It was the fact that when it was go time, you were actually working and you were hustling really hard during that time. Instead of this entire lifestyle that I'm seeing right now, and the definition of everybody working 24 hours a day, it's a focused time. It is a very specific time. It is a session of time. What I'd like to define hustle as, and maybe this will catch on, maybe it'll not. Maybe I'll ruffle a lot of feathers. Who knows? We'll see what happens with this whole post. Hustle is having a good, solid work ethic. Something that you are consistently doing time in and time out over a long period of time. That is what hustle truly is when you consistently are able to focus on the right things at the exact right time. Not this, I'm going to work on my business for 24 hours. I'm going to make $1 million. Well, great. If you make $1 million and you got nobody to share it with, what worth is it? Really, what worth is it? If you got $1 million sitting in the bank account at the end of the year, and you've got no friends, no family, you've got nothing except for $1 million in the bank, I'm going to tell you, it's going to look like crap. It's not worth anything. You might be able to buy some friends, but then that's going to run out. And what are you going to do? Hustle again? I'm telling you right now, and take it from me, just from somebody who's messed up multiple times, and I've come very close to burning a lot of relationships and a lot of scenarios, a lot of things in my life. When you talk about hustle, keep in mind that, especially, like, I know Gary Vaynerchuk, I've read some of his books. I know he talks about his family. He talks about it a lot, and a lot of people don't even hear that when they hear him. He's always saying about hustling and doing the different things, but he talks about his family. He talks about making sure that you've got a good foundation. So whether you follow Gary or you don't follow Gary, I'm not here to say one way or the other. What I'm trying to tell you is that when you hear a message, don't discard the entire message. Make sure that you listen to the whole part of it and what they're trying to actually get across. And so instead of defining hustle as working 24 hours a day and just literally killing yourself with lack of sleep, not taking care of your body as far as what you're eating, not exercising, not developing your social relationships, and disregarding all of your family, by doing that, you're on the path to a nervous breakdown. And I don't know how to express this. I don't know how to sound the whistle any louder than what I'm doing right now. But if you're doing that, it's not going to pay out the way you think it's going to pay out. So instead, look at hustle as a lifestyle that is consistently working hard at something. And when you're consistently working hard at something, that gives you the advantage, because people are going to fizzle out really fast when they do this hustle thing of working 24 hours a day. There's no way, no physical way that anybody can be able to sustain that type of a work ethic. It's just physically impossible. You can't do it. Our bodies were not created that way. We have to have that rest. We have to have that downtime. We have to be able to unplug our brains. We have to be able to do that in order to be able to sustain a long-term, healthy type relationship, both with our business, with our friends, and with our family. And so there's my thing. Just again, sum it up real quick. The difference between what is currently being defined as hustle and what should be defined as hustle is, I feel this divide is getting bigger and bigger. And so when you're looking at your own life, make sure that you are consistently working with a good, hard work ethic rather than this flash and burn out. And I'm telling you, you're going to thank me. You're going to thank yourself. You're going to be able to have a life that's worth living. You're going to be able to leave a legacy. So that's all for now. We'll talk soon.